Good evening, everyone, and sorry about the delays that we had. We had some technical difficulties with the broadcast, with audio, but we are back at it here to kick off Friday night Ryco performance here at the Monster Mile. My name is Taylor Burris. Alongside me is Brandon Edstrom. As we kick off 4 laps in the board, Garrett Maines is your race leader currently at the Monster Mile. Sean Conklin, Patrick Gitter, and Nicholas Vroman, your top 4, with Heitman right there in 5th position. Brandon, we've seen all this week here at the Monster Mile, a track that is testament to the name. It is a monster of a track that will test the limits to each and every single one of these drivers.
Yeah, the first 5 laps has been absolutely insane so far. I'm seeing some battles throughout the field, but the problem is no one's able to pass. The only pass that I'm really seeing that people can set up is getting to that outside, coming up off the turn, getting the run down the straight as we're 3 wide going down into turn 3 through the middle of 3 and 4. They're clear of 3 wide now. Yeah, Taylor, all week it's been crazy. People are burning off the right front. People are spinning on restarts. Lots of crazy stuff happening at the track that deserves to be called the Monster Mile.
Absolutely, and we're happy to bring all the coverage for the Friday night top split for the NASCAR iRacing series. As the field works out at turn number 2, everyone's just kind of now biding their time, not wanting to rush their way up through the field for some drivers. As we watch one, that's the 99 machine, working his way up through the field right now, but still a lot of racing to go. 200 laps. Anything is possible. Strategy will come into play here. It's all about maintaining those tires for the 200 laps. And whoa, one car hits the outside wall and gathers it back up. That's Jose Salas Jr. right there, who is now going to continue on his way up through the field, but he's able to gather it back up. But a close call right here in the early stages there, Brandon.
Yeah, man, this is absolutely insane. I know I've said it twice, but side by side through the field, and you're going to see that all day, coming up off of 2 and coming up off of 4. You're going to see cars slide up the track because you have that height difference. You dive down into turn 1 and turn 3 like it's a roller coaster, and you pop right up off. And if you're full throttle coming up off the turn, I mean, these cars are just going to want to work sideways. And as we know in these cars, they're pretty hard to save. And the other frustrating thing is if you're getting into that wall, you're going to want to get into it as straight as possible so that way you're not breaking a toe link.
Yeah, absolutely, as we see everyone work their way off turn number 2. There you see your race leader, Garrett Maines, right behind him, Sean Conklin. It's a Ryco performance, 1, 2, 3, with Vroman moving up to P3. Then you got Patrick Gitter a little further back with the Team Conti 4 and 5, with Heitman right there in the 5th spot in the number 78 Chevrolet, who's having a good run. And then you got Wembley in 7th. And then you got the rest of the field, Bormarimo, Bergoli, and Baldridge, and Tommy Gossett rounding out your top 10.
And rounding out the top 10, we see a side-by-side battle between the Team Conti teammates here. They're able to sort it out on the front straightaway. And that's something that a lot of these setup shops have seemed to be, figured out this week, is normally, no matter what track we go to, they're always racing one another. And right now, it just seems to be, the less air that you have in front of you, the better. And these guys are just going to let the faster guys go, let them burn up their stuff, and hopefully they'll be able to reel them back in when the run gets later on. Like we said, we've seen a lot of green flag runs this week as well. The only problem that we really had was last night in RTP, had a ton of cautions. But other than that, very clean as we're looking at the number 22 of Alex Murray through turns 1 and 2.
Keeping an eye on the action here as the field works their way out of turn number 2. Drivers are just trying to negotiate side by side a little further back there. You see the 41 machine trying to hold that outside lane right now. But we're going to see a couple of cars throughout the race go up to the top side of the racetrack to try to lay some rubber down. So it's going to be critical to see how it will play out for them as they work their way back through the middle of turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, and that right front's going to be absolutely destroyed. That high side, you have to get back to the throttle so early. For a track like this where you have to dive it in so deep and you have to get through the middle of the corner so well, these guys are driving it so hard through the center of the corner, coming up off the turn. The speed is just so fast. It's just almost like you can't save. It's either you're the front 2 and you can save, and then anything beyond that, these guys got to push to keep up with them.
They certainly do as the field works their way through. There you see the 21 machine right now. That is Patrick Gitter, who is having a little bit of troubles right now. He's starting to fall back as he falls into the clutches of Wembley and Heitman. As Heitman tries to find a way around there, you see a couple of other cars working their way through across the start-finish line as the 01 machine is having a good run inside as he's trying to work his way up through. Of course, that's Schneider who's in that 01 machine as we pick up the number 4 and 27 as they come out of turn number 4.
Coming up off of turn 4, good battles here on track, but they seem to be short-lived, Taylor. That's one thing that I'm noticing is, again, going back to, you can get a run like these guys are right here, but you just can't get it to work unless you dive it in. If that car can keep his nose on the right rear quarter, then he'll be able to get that run off, but he just can't. Car in the wall. I think that was right in front of Sean Rogers, and that Punisher machine car just got up into the wall barely. Hopefully no toe damage there. And that's another thing you got to look out for. These walls, like I've been saying, they pop out quick, but all these guys in here, I know most of them, all of them really good race car drivers, aggressive. So once we start winding down the laps, getting closer, actually, as Garrett Maines driving up the track, Sean Conklin looking to the inside, coming up off of 4.
Conklin with a big run off turn number 4. He will stay tucked up behind his Ryco Performance teammate. So far, not going to put too much pressure on him as we ride on board with Sean Conklin, one of your top competitors here in the NASCAR iRacing Series, both Friday and Monday night. He's looking to see if he can get around his eNASCAR, Coca-Cola iRacing, and Ryco Performance teammate as he looks to the inside. Conklin, I have to say, though, Brandon, is one of the top prospects going in through the Road to Pro qualifying series, as he is just week after week putting some incredible runs in the NASCAR iRacing series.
Yeah, absolutely. Known Sean Conklin for years. He used to race for us on our team way back in the day before Ryco was lucky enough to scoop him up. I mean, he could have gone anywhere, and this kid would be a superstar. Sean Conklin races over in upstate New York. Great kart racer, has a few wins underneath his belt. This kid has something. Like he always used to tell us, which I apologize to him that we could never give him, was he needed coaching. He needed something. And now that we're older and now that, me and Alex know how to do these things, we see Sean and it's like we're missing out on the opportunity that this kid's had, as we're actually seeing Vroman pull to the inside of Conklin here going into turn 3. But Sean Conklin, no doubt in my mind, will be racing in the Coke Series one day and will win a few races. I promise you that.
He certainly will, as he almost gets into the outside wall just barely. This opens the door for Nicholas Vroman to look to the inside of the number 95 Ryco and Hard Rock Casino Tampa machine as he will move up to P2. Your top 3 has stretched it out to over 2.5 seconds from the field. Absolutely a stunning drive, as there you see Derek Heitman right there in the 4th spot. Then you got Brigoli right behind.
Yeah, these guys are robots. These top 3 of Maines, Vroman and Conklin, 2.3 seconds ahead of the entire field, only 22 laps into this 200-lap race. And you know that these guys aren't pushing too hard. This is light work right now. You know that these guys have been putting in laps. Everyone's been putting in laps. But to pull 2.2 after 22 laps, coming to 23 now, is just astonishing that these guys can do that lap after lap after lap and just start gapping the field.
Now, Brandon, we know one thing here. This track eats up tires like nobody's business. Normally we should see these drivers go probably about 50 to 60 laps on a tank of fuel. What can we expect to see as far as could we see drivers peak sooner because of the tires?
Well, I got to be honest with you. If I ran a race this week, I'd tell you, but the only thing I've run is RTP. So these cars are so weird, man. I mean, we're going to see a lot of different strategies no matter what. I think first we'll probably see, I don't know, I'd say 50 stretching it, but it just seems like you need tires at this place. Fall off is absolutely insane. And one note I'd like to make is I keep seeing these cars drive in so deep and wash up the track. Anybody who's a fan of NASCAR knows that usually up close to the wall at Dover is not a place to be. But right now in Sim, we're seeing some cars dive in the corner pretty wicked, getting up to the wall in the center of the corner. And man, are they getting a run off. So we're seeing a lot of good action out on track.
Absolutely here as we watch the drivers work their way through, and James Houghton having a very spirited battle for position as we watch them work their way through the middle of turns 1 and 2. Jose Salas Jr. having a good fight. This is for 18th position as they go 2 by 2, and Jose Salas will complete the pass on Houghton. Houghton gives a little nudge to the back bumper. He'll wash up the racetrack, though, and almost hits the outside wall.
Yeah, and then look at the run that he's going to get coming up off the corner. He might make up half a car length, but he's not going to get it. Can't get quite there. But normally, that's the line that you can run. That's the line that you want to run to set up a pass. Look at the run that he's going to get up off of 4 here. He's going to peek and nose to the inside. They're 3 wide behind him coming down the front straightaway. 3 wide going into turn 1. That's the 17, the 99. And oh my, they might even be 4 wide. Then we got the 17 in the wall in the middle of 1 and 2. They're still pitching, and they're still making contact down the back straightaway, and they still might not be done, Taylor.
Oh my goodness, hold your breath, ladies and gentlemen, as you saw that action. They still survived it as they come through the middle of turn number 4, but absolutely Luis Salmosa and McGee and Holzer and several others praying to just make it through. Then you got Adam Benefield right there in the mix as well as they come out of turn number 2.
Feel for Team Conti coming up off a 2, clear of the car in front of him, but not quite. Might pinch the guy up into the wall a little bit, but this action isn't going to stop. 2 by 2, still in front of Benefield. You got the 04 of Pierce, and car in the wall, the 99. Benefield has to check up on the bottom. That's going to hurt his run. Now the 28's to his outside, and you hate to see that. When somebody makes a mistake in front of you and you got to catch up, and that car can get to your right rear quarter. They save it coming down the back straightaway. That's the last thing you want to see is once that car gets that right rear quarter panel going into the turn, you're going to lose a few spots.
Keeping an eye on this gaggle of cars. No worries about what's going on in front. Everyone's kind of single file. This is where the battle for position is, just around the 20th position. As we watch around here, the number 28 of Thomas Hazard right there is trying to hold strong there. As Hazard gets a good run off corner right there, he will try to close in on the rest of the field. As there you see the 17 machine having a good run, trying to pull away.
I just want to make a note here. About 9 laps ago on lap 22, we said that the gap was 2.3. Look at the gap that Maines has put on Vroman now. 0.7 of a second, and then put 1.5 on Conklin. So Conklin's starting to fall back a little bit into the grip of Derek Heitman and Gitter, but Gitter's about 0.7 behind Heitman as well. So there's a big gap that these guys got to make up. But so far, Garrett Maines leading the way. 0.8 now over Vroman.
Roman's now trying to just save his equipment is the best option, I would say, right now. Just save some tires, save a little fuel. You don't want to push the envelope and end up blowing a tire. We saw that happen in a couple of our broadcasts this week here on GridVision, but so far everyone's just biding their time, not wanting to push the envelope here this early on, as a lot of racing still left to go as we watch Roman in the second position.
Yeah, unfortunately, that seems like that's what this car is, even in real life. It's just a lot of save, and then we see, the best of what this car has to offer with 15 or 20 laps to go. And I just wish that we could race the whole race like this. I know that the tire model's a little bit different as opposed to the other cars, but if you look at the way that the B cars battle and the trucks battle, it's very, very good, but you just don't need to save as much in those cars as you do in this one. And we'll see it at the end of the race. We'll see them beating, banging, 3 wide, laps that we would not normally see. But for right now, if I were all these guys, I'd start saving and trying to figure out when I'm going to come down pit road.
Keeping an eye on the action here, a little further back. This is outside the top 20 right now as we watch a couple of other drivers. Hodgson, Houghton, Fitzgerald, Collins, Jose Solis Jr. And you go further outside the top 20. That's the 19 machine who's having a good run. Slides up in front, completes the pass. And that is Hullabog who get around P-Leg. And here comes Mauricia and Patovich. Patovich having a good run as we now pick up the 80 of Tommy Gossett, who's trying to hold off a plethora of drivers. Baldridge is one of them, but he's under fire by the 54 machine, who's looking to complete the pass, moving further back as they come up through the field. That's Bergoli also in the hunt right now, as Bergoli will drop further back to Trelande. And there you see Wembley in the hunt, trying to see if he can work up closer into the top 7.
Sorry about that, Taylor. I guess I decided to choke on my water last minute. Couldn't get back to you there, but now we're looking at DeCiani, that 4 car. Look at him go. But man, I just can't get over the gap that Maines is putting on. 1.3 seconds now. It feels like every time we look away, this guy's just putting 4 or 5 more tenths on the field. And Alex Murray there on the outside, and that 22 machine, he's fighting up top. Where can he go? He gets into the wall, but look at the run that he's got on the 27 and 4 on that top side. That's why you want to be there. It looks like that these guys are starting to move up, Taylor. That rubber that you were talking about needed to be putting down. I think it's down, and this top side's starting to work, and you can start to see a lot of guys jumping to it.
You see a lot of the heavy hitters coming up to the top side of the racetrack. James Houghton being one of them as well. Throw in several others. DeCiani as well as trouble. One car almost loops it around. That's the 27. Can he keep it clean and green? Don't stop. Keep rolling. And he's going to keep it rolling for the moment. That's Pierce who is able to save it. Beautiful job. But unfortunately will drop back quite a ways.
Yeah, that's not as bad as it could have been. He could have made big contact with the inside or the outside wall. Like we see all the time here, one person wrecks, we usually see a lot more. So thankfully for him, nobody else was involved, and it was just him. But let's go back and take a look at the replay here, see what happened. He's side by side with DeCiani. the 41s to his outside, and it just looks like DeCiani starts to try the dime in the corner, and 27 was there, and sometimes that's just racing, especially here at Dover where it's so hard to pass. You don't want that guy to get to your inside, so two guys trying to fight for the same real estate just didn't work out.
Well, as we pick up Garrett Maines, 1.5 seconds, and he's closing in on lap traffic. So about 40 laps up on the board, and he is about to put some drivers a lap or two down here as they work their way through. There's the gap from Vroman to Conklin, who's now getting pressure from drivers such as Gitter and Tommy Gossett, who are closing in on him. Throw in Derek Heitman as well as they come out of 4.
Yeah, Conklin, I think, burnt his stuff up a little too quick because he's starting to fall to the cars behind him. Gitter, who started, I believe started P2 on the race tonight. He's sitting pretty in P4. Probably wishes that he was up there in a little bit cleaner air in P2, but Gitter's never going to get up. You can see him looking all over the track for grip anywhere, really, as we see his teammate behind him, Derek Heitman, looking to make a pass on Tommy Gossett. Can't quite get the run to the inside, but Derek's not going to give up.
Give a little bit of a shout out to both Derek Heitman and Alex Murray from the chat there by Deb Harris. So I want to say thank you for giving a shout out to your favorite drivers. And if you do so, make sure to let us know here on GridVision. We'll be sure to make a mention and make note as we ride on board with the Team Conti number 76 of Derek Heitman down the front straightaway, closing in on the outlaw Tommy Gossett.
Yeah, and just look at the drop going into turn 1, middle turn 1 and 2 now, coming up off of 2. Just such a big elevation change at this racetrack. Really got to drive the car a certain way, and I feel like this track really fits Derek Heitman. Heitman always a very respectful race car driver, especially in the sim. Great guys. We go on board side by side in front of... Oh, they're wrecking on the front straightaway. Get around, Conklin around on the front straightaway. How many is this going to collect?
Oh, my goodness. Tommy Gossett, Conklin, and Gitter, some of your favorites for tonight's race for a good finish, all collected up in this caution here as we're under caution for the first time. 45 laps on the board. Let's take a look at the replay. And here they go, side by side out of turn number 4. I think Conklin gets a little bit loose. Gossett had nowhere to go, and then it's just accordion effects, collects Heitman into the incident as well.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Heitman's radiator was, completely shattered. He had no time to check up, ran into him about 40 mile an hour faster than what everybody else was going. So hopefully everybody can keep it going as we're on board with Heitman here. And just look at how fast this happens in front of him. Just listen. Bam. Tried. Yeah. Nowhere to go. Just have nowhere to go. You can't do it. This track, you're surrounded on all sides by walls on the front straightaway. The only time it opens up really is in the turns. But in the turns, if you wreck, you're going straight up towards the wall anyway. So on the straightaways, it's pretty rough. I'm surprised we didn't collect more, but hate to say this, thankfully it was a few and not a ton.
Absolutely here, and we're going to have to figure out how this will all play out, but as we're under caution here for the moment, and we're going to see how this all plays out, everyone but one driver decides to come down pit row. That is Terlande in the 54 Toyota. So we'll see how this all plays out. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll have more green flag action here. You're watching the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split live from Dover Speedway on GridVision.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Friday Night Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split presented by here on GridVision at the Dover Speedway International Speedway as we watch on here, green flag. And so far, everyone gets a good jump on the field, but no one can touch Garrett Maines, who is able to pull away. Heitman's now inside the top three for the first time here with Vroman to the inside. Gonna have to keep an eye on Derek Heitman, though, with how much damage he has to that nose of that Chevrolet.
Doesn't look like the damage is too bad. 2x2 down the front straightaways. They go down into one. Rigoli looking to peek a nose on Heitman. Can't get it done. 2x2 behind them between the 17 of Ballbridge and Houghton. Houghton side by side with Murray down the back straightaway. They make contact. 2x2, 3 rows deep. Houghton drives it in a little too deep, but he's going to want that run coming up off of 2. Arcs it down the front straightaway. He's going to pull on Alex Murray, and there goes the 26 to the inside of Rigoli down into turn 1.
Rigoli having a good run outside. He gets the momentum on his side. He wants to challenge for third, and he will do so on the outside of Heitman. Completes the pass, throwing Baldridge in the mix. He's having a good run in that number 17. As here comes Houghton along the outside. Here comes also Borima as well, as he's getting a good run, also trying to get that outside momentum on his side.
I'll pass you, you'll pass me, and we'll get nowhere, and we'll let them run away with it. That's just the way it works at Dover sometimes. You got to get past these guys in front of you, as Heitman might be struggling a little bit, might have a little bit of front-end damage, probably tried to get as much of it fixed down pit road as he could, as Murray coming up off of 4 is going to pinch the car to the outside. And then Heitman, he's going to get a horrible run going down into 1, and that's what happens when cars get to your outside. Coming on the exit of the corner, just kills your momentum down the front straightaway. Watch this 16. He's going to pull Heitman up to him, and then after that, it's just forget about it. But look at Houghton in that 41 machine, putting in work, getting up through the field.
Absolutely punishing the competition outside the top 10 as he's trying to work his way up further and further through the field right now. As we watch on to your race leader, Vroman, looking to see if he can sneak away to take over the race lead here tonight at Dover, with Garrett Maines holding strong in the number 12 Left Court Brothers Racing Machine. As they work through the middle of turn 3 and 4, you're on board with Vroman as they come out of the corner, staying tucked up behind, and they have stretched it out to about a half a second lead over Brigoli and Houghton, who is working his way up. He moves up to P3 now, completing the pass.
Roman trying to get that left front to Maine's right rear, but we saw what happened last time. Maine's on the long run pulled away, so I think Roman needs to get past Maine's and get past him now, especially if he wants that clean air, which Maine's will not give up easy. I know that for a fact. These two are battling. The closest car is Houghton 4 tenths, 5 tenths back now with Brigoli, Wembley rounding out the top 5, Ballbridge, Watson, Barmarena, Heitman, and Murray rounding out the top 10 coming down the back straightaway as they dive it down into turn 3.
Holding strong right now through the middle of the corner right now. James Houghton is a man on a mission here. He is closing in 10th after lap here, hand over fist, and he is looking to see if he wants to go and challenge for the race lead here tonight. 58 laps on the board. We're already a quarter distance through tonight's race.
Yeah, quick one going by when the race goes majorly green. This is how it happens at Dover. They can be pretty quick, putting down fast lap times here, but look at Houghton. Look at the way he drives in. It's almost like he drives it in shallow, lets it wash up, and then drive it off the corner. And man, he's putting down fast laps. He's still stuck at that 4 tenths mark. He's got 100th here or there, but he's not quite putting a lot of work down. But we're looking back through the rest of the pack here. Look at all the lines that these guys are using, Taylor. I mean, you go to Dover, you might see the first 2 lanes being used, but I can't remember a time I think I've seen a car go this high up at Dover to make a pass down the front straightaway.
You're watching Luis Salamosa and DiCiani all having some runs. This is outside the top 10, around the 15th to 20th position right now, as Salamosa's trying to get a good run on DiCiani. Right behind him is Lim and Trelande. Pierce is right there in the mix, as well as Holzer and Hazard try to hold their positions, working through into turn 3.
I was going to interrupt you and say battle for the lead in turn 1 and 2 that last time around. But it lasted all of about 2 tenths of a second. Vroman looked to the inside of Maines in the middle of 1 and 2, and Maines just took off down the back straightaway. Vroman still having a good run as he's going down into 3, but I just don't know if he can quite get it. Not quite there, but he looks like he's showing some speed, but don't blink now. Here comes Houghton.
Houghton is definitely closing the gap with these two battling for the race lead. Houghton is now working around the outside. He wants to build some momentum to see if he can pass them on the outside lane, and so far, it's helping him. Look how much of a run he gets down the back straightaway.
Oh, yeah, and we got a battle for the lead on the inside. Roman peeking his nose on his teammate Garrett Maines. Will they be side by side coming down the front straightaway? They will not. Garrett Maines gets the run, and that's the run I'm talking about, Taylor. On the high side, if you have that run, you will pass the car every single time. Roman trying everything that he can, putting the nose anywhere where he can get some clean air. It's not going to work. Right on his back bumper going into 3. Still looking, trying to get to the outside, but just can't drive it in deep enough to slow that car up.
Keeping an eye on the competition here. It's a good fight for position here as they work their way through the middle of the corner. And so far, it's going to be close. Houghton closing in, but washes up a little bit too wide right there. Loses a little bit of time, but he's able to gather it back up off turn 2.
Started 23rd, and he's up to 3rd. Watching 2 of the best battle in front of him. And look at the move that Roman's going to put on Maines, but Maines is going to get that run coming up off of 4. And just look at the difference in speed that outside line has to offer. And here comes Houghton. He's trying to peek to the outside of Roman. He can't quite get there. Again, 23rd to 3rd, and he's trying to battle with these 2 up front.
He is putting on a stellar drive right now as we ride on board with Vroman. Here comes Houghton, though. He's coming around the outside lane. He wants to have a shot at this here for the race lead as they come across the line. 65 laps complete as they work their way through. But how about this? Houghton was as low as 24th position, over 20 spots gained for that number 41 Punisher machine.
Other drivers who started deep in the grid up in the front right now. Watson didn't start as deep. He's 14th. He's up to 5th now. Another one making up some spots. Then you got Alex Murray started 22nd. He's holding on pretty in 10th. Collins started 24th. He's up to 11th. And James Holzer started 36th. And he's up to 12th. So a lot of big movers this race. Not something that I think we'd see here, but people are... they're finding ways to pass. If we were to go back and watch, Taylor, they're probably not doing it all exactly clean, but they're making it work. They're trying to get up there and battle with these big boys.
They certainly are as they work their way through the middle of the corner here. We're watching this battle further back around the 12th spot where Holzer and Hazard are battling for the 11th position, or 12th position, I should say, as they work their way through. Holzer having a good run. Here comes Salamosa along with Sean Conklin and the rest of the field coming out of the corner. Actually, that's not Conklin. That is Trelande, who is in the position behind as they work through the middle of turn 3 and 4. Pierce looks to the inside, trying to see if he can work his way up a couple of spots out of turn number 4. Almost makes contact with Hodgson, gathers it back up as Hodgson will go around the outside. Keeping an eye on the competition here as we pick up our race leader, Garrett Main, still trying to hold off Roman. Houghton's fallen off a little bit here. It's safe to say maybe there, Brandon, that the tires are starting to fall off a little bit there for James Houghton.
Yeah, I think they're starting to fall off that top side. You can't do it for forever. Man, I can tell you, you feel like Superman up there. You're seeing 3, 4, 5 mile an hour faster than what you normally do running the bottom, getting a run off the top. And man, does it feel good, but that right front is screaming, cool me down, please do something. I can't keep it up. And eventually I'd be interested to see, I bet when we go into the pits, he's probably at about 6-7% lower than everybody else, because you got to get back to the throttle so much faster on that high side. But Vroman, I'm still surprised. Usually at this time in the run last time, he was off by about 1.5 seconds, and this is how good Vroman is. He can just make the adjustment, pulling up on mains almost to his inside, not quite. If Roman's going to want to make this pass, he's going to have to go to the outside. Mains won't let him do it on the inside.
Yeah, he is not giving an inch right now. Garrett Main says he is going to hold that inside lane, hug the bottom of the racetrack through the middle of turn 1 and 2. But here comes Vroman. He'll look to the inside, side by side for the race lead. Through the middle of the corner they will go, and already it's some exciting racing action here tonight as the field works their way through out of turn number 4, but Mains will maintain the position.
Crazy how much car control Mains has. Loses it just a tad up off 2. Vroman gets a run down the back straightaway, dives it into 3, and still Mains comes out with the lead coming up off of 4. One small mistake by Mains is usually a big hiccup for everybody else, but this kid can get it going, and he's always ripping 100% of the time as we're on board with him now. And then look at this drop going down into turn 1. Smooth with the wheel, not jittery. Smooth on throttle. What a run.
What a run indeed as you're on board with Garrett Mains here. And as he works his way through the middle of the corner, we're going to see how he's going to be able to hold off the competition. How about a Ryco performance? Rev it up with Ryco. And of course, that Rev It Up was brought to you by Ryco Performance for some of the best quality setups in the business. As you see up at the front of the field, it is a Ryco Performance 1-2 go visit rycoperformance.gg for all the latest setups in both oval racing, sports car racing, and other forms of road racing here. But of course, the NASCAR packages are the ones to watch, as they have been dominating the NASCAR Open seasons for all of 2024 and in 2023. They also offer amazing coaching one-on-one sessions and data packs for you to improve your racing capabilities. And now, make sure to go visit once again at rycoperformance.gg.
Yeah, you can see up at the front of the field, Vroman tried to hold on for as long as he could, but he just couldn't. 7/10 out front now of Vroman is Garrett Maines. And one thing I really quick want to throw it back to is underneath that last Ryco rev it up. I mean, we saw Alex Murray get into the side of Wembley. Very big moment of what could have been, not just for Murray, but Wembley, because I'm pretty sure Alex was coming up the track, was trying to pinch him a little bit, and that could have been the big one that wrecked the whole field. But thankfully, those two settled it out. Alex Murray got the position. And here comes Dalton Collins, too. He's another one who started in the back, 24th. He's up to 9th. Joshua Watson, he was 14th. He's up to 5th still. Houghton still fighting up there in 3rd. 1.6 back, but you never know. If we get a short run at the end, and Houghton can use that top side, Taylor.
Yeah, absolutely. He
might be there.
He might do that indeed here, as the field will work their way through around the circuit, keeping up the track as they come their way through here. James Houghton trying to hold strong as they work their way across the start-finish lane. Dalton Collins having a good run.
And right now it looks like, hopefully I don't jinx it, we're going to get a green flag pit stop at some point, hopefully. And one thing that you really got to look out for is how hard this pit road is to get onto. 35 mile an hour. And you got to stop about right there. And it's very hard as a driver. If you're racing on single monitor, forget about it. You have to use a wall mark and get down. If you have triples, it's still just as hard. You got to get the car woed up. But 35 mile an hour, you don't want to speed at all. One of the hardest pit roads to get onto. I know a lot of these guys can do it, but it's the person behind them going to be paying attention. And that's the biggest factor under green flag pit stops.
Absolutely here, and we're going to see the action continue as Heitman and Alex Murray trying to work their way up, closing in through the field. So we'll keep an eye on the competition as they head off into turns 1 and 2. Still some great racing action further back, as there you see Matt DiCiani battling here.
Yeah, DiCiani looking for a spot over that 16 machine, looking for a crossover down the back straightaway, not going to work. +1 on the board for Matt DiCiani as he dives down into turn 3. The 16 machine is going to try to get it woed up on the top. That 30 on the bottom, he's got the run. Man, what a race this has been. Very clean. We've had a few, beating and banging here and there. We had one caution involved with teammates, but other than that, Taylor, great racing here at Dover International Speedway.
Going to have a replay here as with McGee here, as Brendan McGee has some issues coming through, and he tries to come down pit road, and
My goodness.
My goodness.
Oh, and Buddy hit the Alt F4. He was not, or no, never mind. I didn't think you could reset when you're on your side like that. I thought Buddy hit the Alt F4, but yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Getting on pit road, one of the hardest pit roads to get onto, and by God, that car is killed. That car is killed, and I believe we're about to get a gyro cam or an onboard of some sort to see what happens. So everybody buckle up, put your neck braces on, and let's hope that no one gets whiplash, because we don't feel like getting sued. Let's take a look at it.
Riding on board here, and this is absolutely crazy here for the moment as they comes through. He's trying to get down by the looks of it on pit road, and boom!
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, that had to hurt. Wow, what a hit! But you know that's the pit road. The banking is such a difference here. Once you get onto that transition, the car almost just wants to step out to the left, and that's what you saw. He was trying to get it turned, and he couldn't get it turned. And then the moment he got it onto the transition, it was overturned, and there was no saving it after that. Did a few spin cycles. Hopefully, dried his underpants in the process because, yikes, that was a tough one.
A couple of Coke drivers on Monday during the top split event had the same issue. So it just shows you the difficulty of racing and coming down pit lane here as we are approaching the halfway point momentarily. Keep an eye on the competition for the drivers who are working their way around the circuit.
I don't care how good of a race car driver you want. If you tell somebody, I need you to get down to 35 mile an hour on this pit road, on this track, everyone's going to have sweaty hands. Everyone's going to have a little bit of the butterflies because the pit road here it's just like going down into turn one. It's like a roller coaster. You go from all this banking and all this speed to 35 and slamming it across two completely different surfaces. And that's why this track's the Monster Mile. It used to be my home track when we lived in Delaware. They put on great events. Kind of sad they only got one race a year, Taylor, but hopefully down the line we can get it too, because there's a lot of other tracks out there that I don't think deserve 2 races, Taylor.
I have to agree with you on that one. This track here, though, I have to say, has provided some great racing action as Heitman pushes the 0-1 of Watson up the track. This opens the door for, here comes Holzer and Murray. And Holzer is looking to try to go to the inside and follow Heitman through to get around Watson. So far, not going to work this time by as they come out of turn number 2. Heitman maintains position as he tries to battle with Watson for the 5th spot.
That's that famous Heitman bionic elbow. I felt that a few times in my life as the 17 is just going to give a massive shot to Watson. My God, he almost sent them to the ice cream stand out of turn 4. Will we see a bump back? I don't think so. The 17 drove it in a little too deep for him to get back, but nah, Heitman, that's what he'll do if he can't get past you. He'll put his elbows up and he'll give you a good door, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's racing. He's done it 1,000 times. He'll do it again. I've done it to him. He's done it to me, except he's a lot better than I am. So Murray almost puts the door. Him as well. My goodness, we're starting to get a little racy here at the end, Taylor. We're starting to see more doors and more beating and banging than we did the first half of the race.
Absolutely. Here we're watching the action as they continue to do battle for the 4th position here, and I gotta say, this is some great racing action all up through the top 10 as we watch Heitman trying to hold the gates to the 5th position. Holzer, a Team Conti teammate, along with the driver of Alex Murray, as Dalton Collins in the Reaper machine trying to close in to put his chances for a top 5 in the works.
Main's out to a 1.5, 1.4 over Roman. Oh man, he's in deep traffic now. Teammate Sean Conklin with no nose in front of him. So that's why it dipped down to 1.3. Let's see how easy. I know Sean will make it easy for him, but these guys in front of him, they don't want to go a lap down. Track position is so key here. Oh, Benefield sideways in front of the leader. Garrett Maines locked up on the back straightaway, and there's no way that Garrett Maines makes it through that wreck. Not a shot, excuse my language, in hell that just happened. Taking a look at the replay.
I want to go on board.
Save. Wow.
He gets to the inside of his teammate Conklin, and there you see the chaos ensue right in front of him. He gets a little damage to the nose by the looks of it, but other than that, he gets the seas parted for him.
I don't even know who that was. I just started saying names. If that wasn't Benefield, I'm so sorry, brother. I just shouted the first name that came out of my mouth, but wow, what a wreck coming up off of 2. Oh yeah, the pink car. I don't know, kind of comes up a little bit, pinches the car on the outside. I think the car on the outside didn't appreciate it too much. Again, just racing deal, just like the caution we saw earlier. I mean, it's Dover. Arms are tired at this point. The longest green flag run of the day. But we're starting to see leaders come down pit road with Garrett Maines leading the way, Taylor.
Absolutely. And with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we'll have more racing action here. You're watching the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split live from Dover International Speedway, only on GridVision.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Friday night top split here at the Dover Motor Speedway. Of course, iRacing hasn't switched it to the official name that it is now, so we'll have to hopefully see that change here in the coming weeks. But we're about to get the green flag back in the air once again, already halfway through the race. Garrett Maines, Nicholas Vroman leads us to the green flag, and a big hiccup right there. Big accordion effect a little further back. Can they keep it straight and narrow? And so far, yes, they will.
Heitman just did his teammate Holzer a huge favor. He could have taken it 3 with him and Alex Murray, but he didn't. That accordion effect, if we didn't have issues, one of the keys to the race was watch the restarts, the tire spin, the chaos, how long it can take for some people to realize that people in front of them are going and they don't go. But right now, Garrett Maines, he's going to have to hold off Roman for a little bit. We see Roman, he's got about 40, 45 lap speed, and then after that, he starts to drop off. So we're on lap 105. We got a long way to go still, Taylor, but they're wrecking down the back straightaway.
The 30 machine goes around here, and just when we thought it was safe, they're going to keep on going.
I believe that's the 30 machine of Jun Soon Lim. Excuse me if I mispronounced that. I'm not very good at any language, matter of fact, Taylor. But we're going to go back, take a look at the replay, take a look at what happened. You got the 30 machine on the outside of DeCiani, who's right behind Hyman, and the 54 just gets into him. Well, it doesn't look like he has too much damage, Taylor. Thankfully, the one good thing I can say about this car is it can take a beating before you got to do anything about it, really. The two biggest things you got to worry about is the toe link and then that front nose coming off. But other than that, I think he can come down pit road and get that thing fixed.
And it certainly seems to be the case here as we are right on board, and there's the contact, and around he will go. But yeah, not too so much severe damage by the looks of it, looking at the number 34 Ryco Performance machine.
And that is not the 54 of Sean Conklin. Sean Conklin was involved in an earlier incident. For everybody watching at home, there's a few 54s every now and then, but I think Sean Conklin has his stake as the official 54 for now.
As he will come down pit road along with a couple of other drivers, the 33 of Alan Pajara as well. But yeah, everyone, a little stack up in there going into turn 1 as they're trying to let some lap cars go by. That was Gabe, trying to see who that was that got sent up to the field to get their lap back. That's Sean Peleg, who will get his lap back in the number 17. I gotta say, we cannot get after these drivers of making sure they choose different numbers for our broadcast.
Oh, and listen, our producer, he did such a nice thing before the season started. He sent everybody a form and said, "I need you to do one thing." And most of the people could not do that one thing. So, the number isn't really an issue, but it's the people not sending the numbers or looking exactly the same as somebody else. But it also doesn't help that we have so many people playing iRacing now that are fluctuating in iRating that a lot of the times you just have different people in these splits. Like, yeah, you can confidently predict the top 10 or 15, but on any given night or on any given track, you could have 10 or 15 different names that we're trying to learn on the fly.
Well, we want to say this though. If you are a part of any of our GridVision official Top Split broadcasts, you can do the following. Go to gridvision.com, fill out a brief GridVision Live, and make sure you fill out our form. That way, not only do you have some great stats and facts that we can utilize during the broadcast, but also we can utilize your very own custom number. That way we see it on the ticker. A couple of you drivers have been able to do so, and you know what? I'll actually point out a couple of them that we'll see here on the track, and you know what? They're doing some of them a good job right now, but there's a couple of you who know who you are who have not done so. Joshua Watson, you're one of those drivers who we appreciate who gave us our number and are doing a great job with your custom number to let us showcase it out on the track. Sean Conklin is another one we got to give a big round of applause to. He also gave us his custom number. As for anyone else, you're on the naughty list.
Let me just say, it ain't that hard. I don't know how to do it, but I can figure out how to do it. It's pretty easy, but no, it's just, if you're here consistently, go ahead, fill out the form, do what you need to do. Just grab the number, contact you who made your paint scheme, get it out there. It makes things a lot easier. And a matter of fact, Taylor, you'd probably agree, we might even say your name a little bit more if your number is correct.
Exactly.
Or at least makes it easier.
It does. It makes it easier. It makes us want to point out some certain things regarding the race. So we'll see how this all plays out, as we should be getting the one to go this time by. So we'll give you a quick rundown of the top 10. Garrett Maines and Nicholas Vroman are your top two on row 1. Bergoli and Houghton in row 2. Watson and Murray in row 3. Holzer and Baldridge row 4. Collins and Wembley round out your top 10.
Yeah, and then Rob Gronkowski's driving the virtual iRacing pace car tonight. Thanks to Rob Gronkowski for doing that, coming out of retirement and doing a few things around the track. I don't know why I said that. Thought it would have been funny. It clearly wasn't. Lights on the pace car are out 2 by 2. Maines and Vroman, who is going to get it done? Now look out for Houghton. He's strong on the short runs. But he uses that top side. That's the side that you need to be on in order to make a pass. But Brigoli, he's hungry. Murray, Watson, Holzer, Wembley, everyone up here is hungry for a win, and they have to go through Maines or Vroman to get it.
Absolutely. We're going to keep an eye on the action here tonight as the field works their way through the middle of the corner here. We're going to see how this happens. Green flag is out. We're back racing, and Garrett Maines gets another great jump on the field.
Yeah, Maines hit the gas pedal. Everybody else did not. 2 by 2 going down into turn 1. The 41 machine of Houghton. He's going to try on the inside to pass Vroman. Alex Murray trying to get past Paul Brigoli. 2 by 2 by 2 throughout half the field. Houghton's cleared for second over Vroman. He dives it down on into turn 3 and 4, and he's going to use that line. There, Brigoli using the same line as well, but the 41 machine of Houghton making it look very easy. Murray to the inside of Brigoli now. Maines 1, Houghton 2, Vroman, Brigoli, Murray round out the top 5. And here we go. Less than 90 laps to go. Who's going to get it done here at Dover International Speedway?
So far, we're going to keep it clean and green for the moment, but as we keep an eye on some of the drivers, Charles Wembley is trying to work strong on the inside lane. He's got Holzer trying to work his way through. Here comes Joshua Watson and Dalton Collins. Throw in the J.R. Borima and Jose Salas Jr. into the mix.
Yeah, Watson just hanging on to the top 10, trying to get up there. He knows he can, but the dirty air and everything that he has to go through to get up there is the hardest part. Heitman might be in the middle of a 3-wide sandwich here in a second. Not quite. 16's not going to get to his outside. Heitman has some work to do to get back into the top 10. He knows that he has a top 5 car and can get up there, but can he get through in this dirty air? Maines still leads. Houghton all over the back bumper. He's actually to the inside of Garrett Maines going into turn 3. Can he make it work? Will Houghton drive him up the track, giving him no room, pinching him on exit? give Garrett Maines the lap lead once again, and it shows why it is almost impossible to pass him at this track because he makes the outside work so well. And there goes that 41 of Houghton. He drove it in a little too deep to 1 and 2 that time, won't get a run down the back straightaway, but man, is Houghton really trying to do everything that he can to get past Maines.
He is doing everything that he can right now, and James Houghton, he is looking to try to get some good points in the NASCAR iRacing Series Schedule Championship. As we see him look to the inside, side by side, battle for the race lead. Here they come out of turn number 2. Maines holds strong on the outside lane to maintain the race lead, but here comes Houghton. He'll cross him up, go back to the outside lane.
And that's the closest that we've seen somebody be able to stay to the inside when they try to make the pass on the inside on Garrett Maines. As Houghton's going to look again to the inside going into 1 and 2. Now pay attention this time because last time out of 2, Houghton kept his bumper on the quarter panel. Can he do it again? He's going to get Maines a little loose. He's to his inside still. This could be the move that Houghton needs. Can he make it clean side by side as they're through the middle of 3 and 4?
They're doing everything that he can, side by side, out of turn number 4. Maines nearly hits the wall a little bit right there, but gathers it back up to try to throw the block on Houghton once again.
Slams the door of the air with a 41. Maines does going into 1 and 2, but that's what everybody needs to do right now. If you can slam the air on somebody to make sure that they can't get a run on you, it's what you need to do. Maines driving it up the track a little bit, but not as much as that 41 as he's going to get a run again. I think Maines is just biding his time. He knows that Houghton is burning the hell out of his tires running that top side. And after a while, Maines will do what he needs to do. But he's just trying to fight him off because you never know what could happen. Houghton gets into the right rear corner, almost turns Maines, politely lets off the gas and lets him go. Good on him for letting him keep going.
He's going to keep on racing here as we ride on board with James Houghton, the Punisher, looking to see if he can try and steal one away from Garrett Maines. He sends it in deep, and it's going to go to the outside, but he is punishing those right side tires for sure, as here comes another driver, Jose Salas Jr. with a big head of steam.
Jose Salas Jr. third now. Houghton still trying to make that outside work with the 22 car. I don't know if anybody has anything for Maines. I mean, they're getting so close, but he just has such a long run car. But man, I'm just gonna take a quick peek at the YouTube chat. People are here for Nolan, for Paul Brigoli, for Heitman, Pisciota giving love in chat, Harris giving love in chat. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you guys as always. As Houghton, you can start to see he's not getting as big of a run as he used to, getting off the corners. That's how you can tell those right sides are really starting to heat up. But I'm surprised he's still keeping up with him, Taylor. I think he's doing pretty good for how hard he's been pushing this car. As he's actually barely to the outside. Can he get a run? Cuts back down across the track. Can't get the biggest run, but he might be there next time round.
He's going to try to do it again here as he comes up to the top of the racetrack. Jose Salas Jr., though, slowly picking away at coming in for maybe stealing one away between the two drivers as they head down across the front straightaway. Heading off into turn 1 and 2. Houghton on the outside. Maines on the bottom of the racetrack. Through the middle of turn 2, Maines clears him, but Houghton gets the big momentum on his side. He'll think about diving to the inside. No, goes back to the top side.
I think he's made his bed. He's got to run that top side. If he runs the bottom now, his right sides are going to be way too cooked. I think he's stuck up there. He's got to keep doing what he's doing, but he's just got to try a little bit harder to get that pass made. He needs that clean air. Right now, Maines is giving him a little bit of clean air running that bottom, but he knows exactly what he's doing. I'm going to give him the bottom, let him run the top, burn his stuff up, and when he's done doing what he's doing, I'm just going to pull away. That's just what Garrett Maines does.
Miles the Monster is absolutely eating the tires off of James Houghton's number 41 Punisher Ford Mustangs. Jose Salas Jr., though, slowly picking away at this late race lead here, and he's looking to close the gap. Your top 4 is here comes Houghton, crosses over to the inside, sends it in. What will Maines do? Will he fight back or give way? He will fight back hard as the caution is out. Nicholas Padovich goes around.
Oh, boy. Right before that ally bridge going into turn 3. We'll take a look at the replay and see what happened. 5 machine around on the back straightaway. See Nolan behind him, the 16 to his outside. 15 just overdrives it, overcorrects it. Oh, collects a few.
Tommy Gossett one. I think also John Williams, another, might have been involved.
I think Lim was involved again in the 30 machine as well. Someone's front end came off, so that's how you know it was a big hit. on board with a 30 car of Lim here. They start wrecking in front of him. He goes low, and bam, straight down in front of him. Wasn't his nose though, so it shouldn't be too much damage. We saw Heitman take a hit at similar speed on the front end, but Gossett's car is absolutely killed.
It really
front bumper's
is.
gone. You can't do anything at Dover without your front bumper.
Nope, and he might join some of the other drivers, such as Brennan McGee, who is currently behind the wall trying to fix repairs to his number 99 Chevrolet, but I safe to say his night is done. And then Patrick Gitter out of the race here tonight as we get another angle of the action here, and I think we might have another retirement as well. Nope, he's still out on the track. He's going to continue on racing. Apologies for that.
And what a hit for Gossett. I mean, another one of those Dover hits, but
well, as with that, pit stops are complete. James Houghton wins the race off pit road, followed by Vroman, Maines, Jacob Klein, looking to stay out on the track. Jose Salas Jr., Johnny Baldridge, Alex Murray, Charles Wembley, James Holter, and Dalton Collins, your top 10 off pit road. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more racing action here at the Dover Motor Speedway. You're watching it all live on GridVision.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to GridVision's coverage of the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split live from Dover Motor Speedway. Taylor Burris here along with Brandon Edstrom, our producer, Austin Derbyshire, as we're about to go back racing here at the Monster Mile. Out of turn number 4, green flag is out. James Houghton gets a great jump on the field as he tries to pull away from Vroman and Maines, Jose Salas Jr. and Paul Brigoli in the hunt for a top 3 finish.
129 of 200, the first time tonight we've seen on a restart somebody else than Garrett Maines leading the race. Houghton, who did all of that work to try to get back out front, beats Garrett Maines off of pit road. And how will that affect the handling of Garrett Maines' car? He hasn't really been in dirty air besides when he was on old tires and in traffic and there were 3 wide in front of him. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. And now that Houghton is in the clean air, I haven't seen him run the top once since the restart, and I bet he plans to keep running that bottom.
Here they come through the middle of turn 3 and 4. Houghton holds strong, but Maine's trying to build the momentum to get back to the inside with the fresh tires as they come across the line here. 70 laps to go. He'll look to the inside. Vroman will try to follow. Side by side, battle for the race lead out of turn number 2. And here comes Garrett Maines pushing Houghton out of the way.
Clean contact. I thought that door was going to put the 41 straight into the wall, but Garrett Maines with a clean race move coming up off of 2 and puts himself back at the point. New leader once again, Garrett Maines without he can get bumper back to him. The door on exit, so I doubt he will in the corner. I think he has that kind of guy. A lot of these dudes in this field are the kind of guys of you do it, me, I'll do it back. So as long as it's not something insane, I think these guys are willing to take a door.
They are certainly willing to do that here as they work their way through the middle of the corner as they head across the straightaway. Houghton tries to put the bumper back to him as he tries to go back to the outside lane side by side for second as here comes Vroman with the head of steam down the back straightaway. Jose Salas Jr., Paul Bergoli, Johnny Baldridge as the caution is out. Gabriel Mauricio and Austin Fitzgerald trouble for the 22 machine.
Oh man, that car is toast. Engine gone, front bumper gone. I'm hearing an apology from Conklin over the radio, so we'll have to see what happened there. Wrecking in front. Oh, I think that's Nolan. Oh my gosh. Nolan was originally the car wrecking, and then the 22 was just a bystander as Nolan was coming back down the track. Oh my goodness. Let's take a look to see what happened to Nolan that triggered the whole thing. Oh, maybe this is where the apology from Conklin came from, coming up off of 4 down the front straightaway. Conklin behind Nolan. Yep, and there's the apology. Sean hitting Nolan. Oof. Tough hit. And the 22 is just a bystander after that. Sean looking to the inside. Maybe didn't I mean, I always say if you're at my wheel, I'll give it to you. I don't really consider the quarter that you're there. I'll pinch you every single time, but I think Conklin just bit off a little bit too much from that. Nolan not wanting to give up his spot, knowing how important track position is at this racetrack. And Conklin just got into Nolan. Nolan went up the track. Big contact in between 1 and 2. Came back down and unfortunately collected the 22 of Fitzgerald. Not the 22 of Alex Murray, but the 22 of Fitzgerald. And big hit for the both of them. Both of them are meatball done out of the race. I don't think we'll see them coming back. Anyway, we're working lap 135 of 200, still under caution. Garrett Maines, Houghton, Vroman, Salas, and Brigoli rounding out your top 5. Then you got Baldridge, Wembley, Murray, Collins. Salmasa rounding out your top 10. What a race it's been. Thank you to everybody tuning in to GridVision's coverage of the Ryco Performance Top Split Friday Night NIS. Again, I'm Brandon Edstrom, joined alongside Taylor. And man, what a race it's been. And Austin, thank you very much for producing this, as always, as well. Let us know who you're cheering for in chat, who you're here for while you're here. Jacob Schneider says, Conks will conk. Conklin will be Conklin, but Brandon will be Brandon. Austin will be Austin. Everybody will be everybody. That's the joy of iRacing. You don't sign up to race robots. You sign up to race real people, and real people make mistakes. And this is what happens. This is all a learning experience for all these drivers, and Conklin still being young, he has a lot of time to learn from those mistakes. 136 of 200 now, not too much longer to go. Houghton still trying to work that high side on Maines under green. Don't know if it will work, but you have to ask yourself, what will the 41 of Houghton do if he gets to the outside of Maines and Vroman decides, I need to win this race? I can't think about my teammate, takes it 3 wide. What are they all going to do? Is Maines going to try to door Houghton? Is he going to try to pinch off Vroman? There's so many things in that moment that you have to think of, and you'll only get it here in iRacing. Friday Night Top Split NIS brought to you by Ryco Performance at beautiful Dover International Speedway. Love this track. Love it, love it, love it.
Gotta love it indeed here tonight. And I gotta say, Brandon, thanks for coming on to help us out here tonight. It's been a busy week here in the world of GridVision with a lot of racing action here at Dover. And we still got one more event to wrap up the week here, and it's going to go back to the world's fastest super speedway, Talladega, for the Moms Against Drunk Driving special event, as we'll see that action happening Saturday night, 9 o'clock at Talladega. And of course, we'll have more great racing action starting next week when we're back with the Ryco Performance Monday night top split as we get set to go into the next few weeks of racing action.
Yeah, no problem, Taylor. You know, it's I've been out of commission for a few months now. Used to do lead full time, lost a little bit of it, just stopped doing it, lost the fire for it, and then Austin and you guys have always been nice enough to say anytime you want to come back, just hop in, and hopped in last week, and I was like, you know what, maybe we got to start making this a regular thing every now and then. So you might be seeing more of me. Hell, you might even get the forbidden Edstrom and Edstrom stream here soon, which nobody would want to be in here for, but lap 137 of 200. Oh, the Austin and the Edstrom and Edstrom stream. Oh no, our producer's right, Taylor. But we're coming back green, coming to lap 138 of 200.
Here we go, back ready to go racing once again as they come out of turn number 4 into the restart zone. Green flag is back out, and Garrett Maines doing what Garrett Maines does best and getting great jumps on the field and leading the field once again here in the NiS series.
Yeah, what a restart, 138 of 200. There goes Houghton on that top side again. Oh, the 22 almost gives a shot to Roman coming up off of 2, but he doesn't side by side. This is really what Maines wants to see. I bet he's tired of that 41 on his outside, but just look at, I can't believe I'm going to say this, someone ripping the Larson line at Dover. Never thought I'd hear that in a million years.
Well, we're seeing it happen here tonight as here comes Houghton as he is working his way up. He moved back to P4 for the moment. Into the clutches of Paul Zergoli as they work their way down the back straightaway. Everyone trying to work their way through the middle of the corner as we keep an eye on the top 4 as Houghton tries to get back around Jose Salas Jr., but here comes Vroman to the inside of Maines.
Vroman to the inside of Maines, not quite. That was almost the same thing that we saw happen to Conklin. Maines shutting the door on Vroman, but Vroman knows right then and there he's got to find a different way around his teammate Maines as there's almost trouble down the back straightaway. I think that's Conklin. Well, Conklin and fake Conklin, or no, that's Watson, excuse me. Fake Conklin and Watson are going at it side by side. Lots of contact everywhere, all over the track, no matter where you look. Cars hitting the wall, cars beating into each other. Mercedes F1 Fan 2024 says, do you guys have an ARCA series on here? If so, how often do ARCA breaks happen? Well, on iRacing, you don't need to be in the ARCA series to see ARCA breaks. You can almost see it in any series. It just happens. Side by side, lap 141 of 200. We have a caution out on the racetrack. Big one. 2 5s involved as they're around in turns 3 and 4.
Speaking of ARCA breaks.
Yeah, literally.
Nicholas Patovich and John Williams were the dynamic duo spinning out of control through the middle of turn 3 and 4.
Taking a look at the replay coming up off of 2. Just the same stuff that we've been seeing, a door slam, and then maybe a little bit of extracurricular activity. And that's just one of those things. I mean, you have to accept that door. If you get tight coming up off of 2, here, let's take a look. You get tight off of 2. The 5s, I mean, if anything, it looked like netcode, Taylor. I mean, it looked like the 5 gave himself enough room off the wall, gave the other car enough room, and I don't think the 4 appreciated it and just turned him down the back straightaway, even though, if anything, they shouldn't have even doored. It seemed like a lot of netcode. Austin, maybe if you don't mind if we just slow it down a little bit and see. Because, I mean, he has enough room coming off the wall, Taylor, but look, if you look, right, boom, netcode, about a foot of it.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough break right there for this situation.
Yeah, and then they have it saved, and this is the part that I know that this guy knows that he's not clear. He can see that, and without talking too much, that's just a little too much extracurricular. If you don't like the way I always say this, and I'm pretty sure everybody will agree, if you don't like the way that a guy's racing you, hooking him isn't an option. Spinning him on the straightaway isn't an option. Just wait until the next corner, give him a little bump. Put him up into the marbles, maybe put him up into the wall. But when you're willing to put everybody else's race behind you at risk, that's when I think it gets to be a little bit too much.
I have to agree with you on that. So we'll see how this all plays out for our competitors here as we're closing in on 50 laps left to go in the race. Currently looking to be about 57-ish laps to go.
And we were cruising through the first half of this race, but I think Miles the Monster is slowly starting to creep in. I mean, you can only eat so many tires before he wants something else besides tires. I think Miles wants chaos. I think he wants tension. I think he wants anger, but that's what this track is most known for. It's almost like the mile version of Darlington, but it's just so crazy. The banking, the way that the cars bounce, how tight you get coming up off the corners. It's basically just a concrete Darlington with the two same corners. I mean, this track is insane. It has always been insane. It's crazy in person too, but now I'll have to see where the strategy plays out. Who's going to come get tires? Does anybody need to save fuel? What do these guys need to do right now? And in order to find out, you'll have to stay tuned and watch to the end of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, as we watch the field work their way through the middle of the corner, and we're going to keep an eye on some of the action here, as we are under caution, I believe, for the 6th time possibly tonight.
Not too many. I'm surprised. Normally, Dover's one of those tracks where if you run into the different series, you might get a few. I was even surprised in Road to Pro last night. We didn't even have that many cautions. It was more towards the end of the race when we had the cautions, but that's usually how it will be on iRacing and in real life both. Everyone's patience starts to wear thin. Everybody was doing the best that they could throughout the first 145 laps of this race, and now it's go time. If you don't have track position, you need to go up and grab it. If you don't have the speed, you need to figure out why you don't right now. As you can see, I think a lot of these cars behind the front few pitted. We're seeing a lot of switching, swapping throughout the field, but just want to say thank you again, Taylor and Austin, for letting me join in on the booth tonight with you guys. It's been an honor so far. Taylor, you're a legend. Austin, best producer out there. So thank you guys very much for letting me hop in whenever and just kind of letting me do my thing.
Absolutely, as our producer is getting a tear. It's been a little bit of a busy day for me. I was up in Austin at Circuit of the Americas for the Ferrari Challenge event. Then I had to rush back home for producing a dirt race in Louisiana. And then next thing you know, that race gets canceled because of, well, wet weather and dirt track. It gets a little bit too muddy to where you can't really pack the dirt in that much. And next thing you know, here I am in Dover, Delaware, calling the virtual race for the NASCAR iRacing series with Ryco Performance. And here we are, getting ready to continue on the action again.
Well, at least you had a productive day. All I did was drive 40 minutes north and eat too much Moe's and then get on here and call the race with you guys. Lights on the pace car are off. 2 by 2. Main's leading him to the restart zone. Will he get it done once again? So the guy go restart zone. Garrett Maines. When will he hit the loud pedal? And he will right now. They're side by side behind him. Lots of tire spin in the back of the pack, but I don't think anyone's wrecked just yet. And Garrett Maines out to another big lead on a restart after a caution.
Here they come through the middle of turns 1 and 2. Jose Salas Jr. and Johnny Baldridge battling for the 2nd spot. Here they come down, and Alex Murray in the hunt with Charles Wimbley. Don't forget Dalton Collins in the Reapers and Champions machine. He's going to have a shot at the top 5.
Garrett Maines started first, is first. Jose Salas Jr. started 25th, is now 2nd. Murray in 4th, he started 22nd. A lot of these guys, big movers throughout the field. You know how good that feels when you can do something like that, but it don't mean a damn thing unless you can get up there and have an opportunity to win this thing. And as of right now, Garrett Maines is the sole person in possession of this race win. I don't think anybody can beat him just yet. I haven't seen anybody that can do so, but who knows, within these last 45 laps or so, we could see something.
We're going to see something, indeed, something exciting, and Jose Salas Jr. is chasing and chipping away at Garrett Maines' race lead as they come through the middle of turn 3 and 4, 2 by 2 by 2, all the way back outside the top 10. You probably have to go to about 14th position as they now try to go single file into turn 1. As here comes Baldridge putting the back bumper to the driver of Alex Murray for 3rd.
Yeah, and Alex just queued up over the radio. Alex with a power move off of turn 4 and then going into turn 1, that 17 machine, which in reality the 23 on the scoring pylon, gave him a little bit of shot going into 1. I don't know if Alex said sty or he said, hey, we're checking up here, please don't hit me. But Alex Murray from 22nd up to 3rd, and Jose from 25th to 2nd. Two guys who started almost right next to each other. Can they do anything and get up to Garrett Maines and battle for the race lead?
They're going to keep on trying here as they work their way down into turn 3 and 4. Dalton Collins pushing a couple of drivers up the track. Cody Terlande, Watson, and Vroman now as he's trying to snake his way into the top 5.
And look at who's back in the top 10. Sean Conklin, after that huge wreck earlier, has come down every single time to fix that damage just about. The front bumper is back on, and Sean Conklin's back in the races. Alex Murray's trying to fight Jose Solis Jr. for second. Can Alex put the power down on the bottom and get past him? Garrett Maines still leads the race. Can Alex Murray get to second? Can anybody do anything? But here comes Jose to the outside of Garrett Maines. Can't quite get there, but will he get the run? Diamond's the corner, coming off of 2. Murray in tow behind the 22. And man, what a race we have between these top 3.
Really putting on a stellar drive as they come through the middle of the corner here. And it's going to be a close one because Alex Murray and Jose Salas Jr. are really putting the fight to Garrett Maines here. They want to stop the Ryco Performance domination that's been happening.
Man, my goodness. And these Ryco guys side by side, Watson and Conklin. Can Conklin get anywhere? He's up to 7th now. He was 9th a few laps ago. Watson gets a little loose on the bottom, almost washes up into his teammate, but backs off. Conklin hard into the wall, 3 wide down the front straightaway.
3 wide, here they come down through the middle of the corner, and they're going to almost go 4 wide off turn number 2. Gathers it back up. Great racing action here between the drivers.
Conklin in the wall again. He's got to back it down a little bit. I know he wants to get up to the front, but he's pushing too hard. He's going to have no tire left. That's what we've learned. We saw Houghton do it earlier in the race. You can't run that hard on the top, and he's hit the outside wall 3 or 4 times now. Next time might be the time that he breaks a toe link. He's got to keep it off the wall.
You got to keep themselves going here for the moment as they head off into turns number 3 and 4. Froman trying to work his way back up. Charles Wembley having a good run as he battles along with the field. Cody Trelande in that 54 machine really having a good fight, but he will wash up the racetrack as the 54 of Sean Conklin looking to power back through. This is going to get exciting.
The 54 twins trying to battle it out. Here goes Alex Murray to the inside of the 22 of Jose Salas, trying to battle for P2 to get up to Maines. And then you got both of the 54s of, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name because I know you guys know how to say it, but I don't want to botch it. Terlin, thank you. And then Conklin, and my goodness, side by side. And then Vroman's going to go with the car on top because that's where the momentum's going to be. But Alex still trying to fight. Alex needs to get off the bottom. The longer he's on the bottom and he lets those cars stay on top, the worse it's going to be. But you know that he doesn't want to give it up. He wants to make the bottom work. That's normally the preferred line, but I think he's okay with it. He's letting these guys burn out their right sides, and maybe he's saving something on the bottom. But here comes Conklin. I mean, the kid is coming back up to the front.
He really is as they work their way down the back straightaway. Conklin is absolutely just shooting his way through any hole he can find in order to take a spot away and get closer up to Garrett Maines. But Nicholas Vroman, he's wanting to go have a shot. Your top 2 in the point standing side by side for the race lead as they come out of turn 2.
Lap 159 of 200, about to be 160 side by side down the long back straightaway, it seems like here at Dover, into turn 3, side by side as they come up off of 4. Who's going to have the momentum? But Jose Salas, he's almost peeking to the outside of Vroman. Vroman slams the door of the air. Garrett Maines back down to the bottom. Salas all the way to the top. Murray back down to the bottom. Conklin trying to make a pass on Turland. There's so much stuff happening right now here at Dover International Speedway. I don't even know what to call, but top 2 in the point standings going at it. Salas trying to get up there and create a wake, a disruption, or anything for these guys to make a mistake. Alex Murray waiting in tow, and the real threat is behind them. Sean Conklin, can he get back up? He's the only person besides Roman that we saw really compete with Garrett. So can he get back up there? He looks like he's falling off a little bit, but Roman with the crossover down the back straightaway.
Here they come down through the middle of the corner, side by side. It's Vroman on the bottom, Maines on the top side as they come out of turn number 4. And here we go, almost making contact as Murray and Solis keep an eye on this battle.
Man, Maines is just driving it in on that bottom, but so is everybody else. They got to start asking the question, what are we doing wrong? But Garrett's just a different human being. He's just built different. As Roman's going to push him down into turn 3. Solis in tow behind him. Murray still sitting back there in 4th, but the focus is on Maines and Vroman battling it out. As we saw earlier on in the race, Maines has the long run speed. Vroman can hang with him, but after about 35, 40, 45 laps, Vroman starts to fall off. Have they learned anything? Can they do anything else different? 163 at 200 coming to 164.
It's going to get exciting here as they work their way down through the middle of turn 3 and 4. Here comes Jose Salas Jr. He's looking to try to sneak his way up into second place. Not going to do it this time. He'll stay tucked up behind the driver of Vroman.
Man, you just gotta wait for one of these times. Someone's gonna drive it in too deep and make a mistake and hit each other. But Vroman gets a run. He doesn't let Garrett get that run off the top, side by side as they go down into turn 3. Can Jose Salas Jr. do anything? Can he work? Can he get to the outside of Vroman, make anything happen? He's got to check up a little bit. Can't do anything with it as they come down the front straightaway. When will Vroman strike? When will he make the move? If he can make the move at all. Or will Maines pull away and secure another top split NiS victory like he has so many times before?
He certainly has, and he's trying to work his way through the middle of the corner. Garrett Maines, he currently has a total of 8 wins in the NiS series. Nicholas Vroman, 8 wins as well for the NiS season. These are your top 2. Jacob Schneider's 3rd in the championship as the caution is out. J.R. Barima and several other drivers having some trouble.
Derek Heitman's around on the front straightaway. A few other cars involved. Let's take a look at the replay here. Coming up off of, I believe this is turn 4. Holzer, Heitman just squeezed. Dalton Collins, yeah, there's nothing you can do there, Taylor. And then chaos ensues after that. The 30 car, I think after the caution already came out, didn't really see the car above him and pitched the car above him into the wall. So a few extracurricular activities after the flag, but yeah, this is just one of those situations where maybe the spotter doesn't call 3 or you don't expect it, but yeah, Derek just got tight coming up off of 4. And whenever you get 3, for some reason, even though the car on the top side, you can't see or feel or nothing, sometimes the car just gets so tight for no reason because you have to take the lower arc off and you can't drive it off as normal. And Derek just got tight and sandwiched everybody, but all the leaders coming down pit road.
Could be the possible final pit stop of the night here, and with 30 laps left to go, it is now or never for these drivers as they make their way into their pit box.
Yeah, and this is the only part about iRacing that I disagree with. I wish there was that rule where everybody had to stay to the right until, 3 in, 3 out box rule. But it's kind of hard to manage that. As you can see, everybody hugs the pit stalls lines until they get to theirs. Normally in real life, you'd have to be to the right of that white line that you see on pit road. But let's see who's going to win the race off pit road. Jack drops. Garrett Maines wins the race off pit road. Vroman, Jose, Houghton, Conklin. Oh man, Murray lost 3 or 4 spots on that one. Might need to go fire a few tire changer guys. Either that or something happened getting into his pit stall. But Maines, Vroman, Houghton, Conklin, back up into the top 5. DeCiani up in 6. First time I think I've seen him up in close to the top 5 all night long.
Crazy to see how the action will play out, but couple of drivers will try to get back on the lead lap or one of their laps back. And as they do that, we'll go and take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more action here for the Ryco Performance Friday night top split at the Dover Motor Speedway.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split from the Dover Motor Speedway here on GridVision. Garrett Maines, Nicholas Vroman about to have a possible 30-lap dash to the finish here tonight as Fred, the pace car driver, makes the hard left turn down the pit road. Barney the flag man has the Pine Golf green flag in hand, and we're back at it racing here at Dover, and already Maines pulls away with a race lead, but Jose Salas Jr. slides up into second place, getting around Vroman as they come out of turn number 2.
It's really big that Salas got clear before he got off the exit of 2. All night we've seen that they've been side by side, and that's allowed Garrett Maines to get away a little bit. The fact that Salas could power through before the exit of 2 and be clear just means that he can set his sights on Vroman a little sooner, not have to burn his stuff up, but he's going to have to anyway. Vroman's going to try to find a way around him, and here comes Houghton. We're going to see him rip the fence again, Conklin to the inside of him, but Alex Murray pushing the absolute hell, as Alex is going to almost pinch and slam the air onto Conklin. What's going to happen between these two? Once teammates, now not really rivals, but competition, car around on the front straightaway. No caution. Still side by side as they come up off a 2 for the race lead.
Keeping an eye on the field here as they work their way through a couple of drivers trying to just survive out of turn number 2 as we pick up your top 5. As you can see them all lined to stern coming out of turn number 4, making your top 6. Throw in Sean Conklin, who's looking to try to get back into the top 5 as we see James Houghton high, wide, and handsome as we take a look at the replay of that incident here with Johnny Baldridge and Luis Salmosa, and throw in a couple of other drivers. As Salmosa hits the wall, Baldridge loops it around almost, but gathers it back up and keeps on racing.
That's a big G move of him to do. I'm going to give him +2 in respect on that because he could have let that thing come around and brought out the caution, but he didn't. He locked down the brakes, and we're still green, so big props to him for doing that. That's a real race car driver. Oh, well, there's going to be a caution anyway. Car's around on the back straightaway. Still green. No caution. Off the racing surface. There we go.
Back up.
Well, that changes a lot. Uh-oh. I'm hearing some chatter over the radio, Taylor. If you want to take over, I'm going to listen into this radio chatter and see if we got any juice going on.
Well, let's see if we have the beef here as Holzer splits the difference with 2 other drivers and unfortunately gets turned around.
Oh boy, you know it gets bad when grown men are calling other grown men champ. Oh no.
We have beef there, Brandon. We have beef.
We might have beef, buddy. We might have full-grown men throwing virtual fists. So let's take a peek. 3 wide through the middle here. Huh. Well, they were 3 wide. I don't think they need to be 3 wide, but with 30 laps to go, I can certainly understand. But if our producer wouldn't mind just going back through, giving us a camera angle, maybe without the bridge, because right when we went under the bridge is when we really could see what was going to happen. So let's go back and take another look. I think the 17, the one in the middle, is going to be at fault no matter what. But let's take a look. 3 wide through the middle. There's 2 17, so that's a little confusing. But the one in the middle, the purple one, they're 3 wide. The 19 machine, he doesn't need to be that. I mean, the 19 looks like he's gonna be tight, like off the wall, but he's not. Like the 19 looks like he's driving down the track, but he stays up against the wall. I'm gonna put that one on the 17 that was in the middle. I think just drove it off the corner a little bit too much, got into him. Because, like I said, the 19 car looked like he was gonna come back down the track, but kept it up close to the wall. So there's no reason why they could have stayed three wide. But Garrett Main's still the leader. Jose trying to chase Vroman, Houghton, Murray, Conklin, DeCiani, Watson, Brigoli, and Terlin to round out the top 10. And we're going to have less than 20 laps to go when we go back green, Taylor.
We certainly are here, and this is going to get exciting here as we'll see what Jose Salas Jr. can do, what James Houghton can do, Alex Murray, Sean Conklin. I mean, let's go ahead and make some picks right quick while we have a chance. We didn't get to make picks early on because we didn't really have a pre-race show due to some technical difficulties, but go ahead and throw in some picks right here. For me, I got to go with Sean Conklin. I think he's going to be one of those sneaky drivers, even after the incidents he's dealt with, to sneak his way back up to the race lead.
I honestly don't think anybody in the top 4 right now is going to win this race. Something is going to happen. I don't even think it will be Alex Murray or Conklin or DeCiani. I think a winner's going to come from 8th on back. I think the last 10 or 15 laps or so, we're going to have a lot of beating and banging, a lot of moving. No one's going to want to go to the outside. No one's going to want to wait on the inside. We're going to see dive bombs. We're going to see slide jobs, and that's just how the end of the race is going to be. And I think there's going to be a lot of chaos, and I think somebody up front makes a mistake. I don't think it's going to be Maines. I don't think it's going to be Vroman, but somebody up front will make a mistake. Currently, Jose is making the mistake. He's in the outside wall under pace. But yeah, I don't know, Taylor. I can't give you a pick. All I know is I think it's going to be somebody beyond 8th place. I think some really crazy stuff's going to happen. It's gotten crazy out of nowhere, and me and Nick, as Austin knows, have this chaos theory. Once it starts, it's not going to stop, and it's only going to get a lot worse.
It really is, and we're going to see how this all plays out as a lineup 2x2. As our producer double-check, what did he say on who he thought was going to be the winner? We are. Yes, we are going to be the winners because we're going to bring you all the great action here in this closing finale for tonight's racing action.
I don't know if we're going to be the winners after that exchange. We were all confused. I almost said, I'm not winning. I'm not racing. I'm wrong Edstrom. And then I realized the other Edstrom isn't in the race or in here either. So I have no idea who the winner is, but I guess we're the winners. I can agree with that, but
who knows? Austin could possibly hop in here, get in the race, and find his way up through the field and win this race.
Yeah, come back from 179 laps down.
Shoot, for all we know, he could be in the pace car. He could have kicked Fred out.
He's probably in the pace car.
Well, here they come into the restart zone with the green flag in the hand with Barney the flag man, and here we go. Back at it once again, a 20-lap dash to the finish as Garrett Maines pulls away.
Can Vroman get cleared like Solis Jr. did last time off of 2? He can't. Jose's going to power on the outside, try to get clear. Oh, Houghton! Oh, Big Red Conklin around, Houghton around, DeCiani around, Derek Heitman. Oh, my goodness, the whole back straightaway. Oh, Nolan Hodgkin is screaming that someone's blind. Oh, no. ARCA brakes. I guess Mercedes fan's going to get his wish. We are getting ARCA brakes. Well,
look, I mean, there goes
the chaos theory. The chaos theory. Well, now I don't know if it's going to come from beyond 8th because everybody from 8th on back just about wrecked.
Yeah, it just started with Houghton, and just a hard hit right there.
I hope to God everybody got their hands off the wheel because with a lot of these direct drive wheels nowadays, hits like that, whew, you hang on to that wheel, Taylor. Forget about it. Your wrists are coming with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Here as the field gets themselves lined up and will be under caution for the 9th time here tonight.
Yeah, it was. We had one caution for the first 100 laps, and we've had all the cautions after, but it lives on. There it is. Houghton gets a little tight, hits the wall. Conklin gets involved. DeCiani, Brigoli, trying to count all the cars. Bumper comes off, hits the 35. Heitman barely. I mean, I thought Heitman was involved. He doesn't hit the wall, but he gets the car behind him involved. The 17 car gets involved. There's 3 17 cars in a row that almost got involved. But Holzer makes it through. Man, what a wreck. And that's just a product of Dover. You wreck on one of these straightaways where there's nowhere to go, forget about it.
Absolutely, as the field will line up behind the pace car once again. And, well, it's time to re-rack them, restack them, and see who will be some of the new faces up inside the top 10 after that incident.
I feel like we're playing a virtual millionaires Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I'm starting to think that's what NASCAR is a bunch of rich people were like, we want Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but a lot cooler and a lot faster because, I mean, I know we're not seeing literal punches thrown, but it's almost what they feel like, right? I mean, you're taking multiple 1,000-pound stock car at 170 miles an hour and essentially driving it into someone's door, hoping that you can get past them. So it's just one big strategic boxing match. I mean, you're trying to figure out how much stamina you got left, which is your fuel, and it's just like, man, we've seen this field go from 15 cars that had a chance to, I don't even know, Taylor. This race has gotten insane in the past few 20 minutes. I don't even know what to say anymore.
Keeping an eye on this. I mean, it's just a matter of now how this will all play out to finish this race. So, lights are still on the pace car. Hopefully, in another lap or two, we should get the one-to-go signal. But a couple of drivers who have worked their way through. Luis Salamosa, he's been outside the top 10 all night. He is now sitting in 9th. How about Lucas Abreu? He's in 11th position after being outside the top 20 most of the night.
Yeah, Jose Solis Jr. started 25th, like I said. Alex Murray started 22nd, like I said. Watson starting 14th. He's up to 5th. The other one is Luis Salmaso. He started 29th. He's up to 9th. Like you said, Lucas Abreu from 35th to 11th. And then you got some of the bigger losers. Patrick Gitter started 2nd. He's in 36, 117 laps down. And Tommy Gossett started 8th. He's 25th. DeCiani started 15th. He's 24th. So not a lot of spots lost, but Heitman started 5th. He's 22nd. So a big swing for a few drivers and an even worse swing for a few others. I'd be proud if I were Jose, Alex, and Watson. It's not easy to pass at this track, and the fact that they pass so many cars and they're keeping it up here, keeping it clean, props on them. Listening to Garrett Maines and Alex Murray talk over the radio about sponsorships right now. That's the great thing about iRacing is a lot of these drivers get to communicate with one another just like they used to back in the day on the restrictor plate tracks when you could dial up an old friend and say, hey, man, I want to work with you. But iRacing's just one big community. Everybody gets to talk to each other, or it's one big WWE Royal Rumble and everyone's trying to take each other out. Lights on the pace car are out. Lap 184 of 200 coming to 185. Will it be Jose? Will it be Garrett? Will it be Nicholas, Alex, Joshua, Cody, Paul? Who will it be? We're about to find out as the pace car is going to pull off down the virtual Dover International Speedway pit road, the Monster Mile. Here they come to the Geico restart zone. Garrett Maines is in control. When will he go? Side by side into the Geico restart zone. Green flag. What a huge start for Maines. Pulls his teammate with him. Alex Murray looks to the outside of Jose. 3 wide as they go down into turn 1. 185 of lap 200.
Watson holds on. He gathers it back up as they continue to come out of turn number 2. Can they save it? A couple of other drivers. Luis Salmos Jr. makes contact. Goes back up to the back of the racetrack and now tries to slide his way up in front of Paul Bergoli. Saves it and continues on.
Oh, still 3 wide down the front straightaway. Wrecking Watson's around on the front straight. And that's the big one. There's the whole field in that one. Ryco involved. Conti involved. Watson involved. EPI. I mean, everyone's involved. Every setup shop ever is involved in this one. The whole field was almost involved in this one. My God, what a wreck.
Yeah, indeed.
To look back on what happened coming up off of turn 4. Oh, Watson just drives up the track into the 16, gets himself turned, and then the 16 comes down, turns the 17, and chaos just ensues. What a wreck. What a seat if you're sitting down in turn 1, though, huh? You get to watch them drop 30 feet into oblivion, and that's the view that you get. So a few other cars involved. 16 car gets hit. Oh my lord. Up in the air, the 18 car came off the ground about 3 or 4 feet. Another caution, but hey, this is what we were talking about, Taylor, the chaos theory. It's going to live on every time I bring it up. Once the cautions start coming out, they're not going to stop, and it's only going to get worse. But right now, Garrett Main's still in the lead.
He still is, and he's going to hold on to it here for a few more laps and before we go back racing. But yeah, just absolute chaos with this caution here. At least half a dozen, if not a dozen cars are out in this race here, and they will join James Houghton, Dalton Collins, John Williams, Austin Fitzgerald, Brandon McGee, and Patrick Gitter.
Thank God this isn't real life, because some of these hits on this video game are just absolutely brutal. And we just saw the onboard of that one driver. He accidentally turned somebody coming down the front straightaway, and then going into one, he thought he was clear, and a car came right back up and destroyed him. Him and Heitman and a few others. And we've now gone from almost nothing to having about 8 cars out of the race a lap down, multiple more with damage. Cars who should be finishing in the top 10. I mean, the 5 car of Gitter, he's not actually the 5, but in terms of iRating sake, he's the 5. He's finishing dead last. You got the 11 car in 27th. Derek Heitman, the 7th car in 25th. A lot of big guys losing iRating in this, and that's not what you want. I mean, these guys will be in top split, no matter what. But this iRating is a grind. It's a lot easier to lose 120 than it is to gain 120. You can lose 120 in one race, and it will take you 10 to get back 120. So a lot of these guys, frustrating day for them.
A lot of frustrating drivers here who are having to deal with a lot of chaos at the Monster Mile. And safe to say they're going to look ahead and hope for a better results for them. Of course, next week in the world of NASCAR competition, it's going to be a little bit different as we leave Dover and head back out to the Midwest where we will be in Kansas. The Kansas Speedway will be the next part for the NASCAR Cup Series, along with the Be Open Series, and the trucks will be racing there at the Kansas Speedway. Xfinity will have off in the real world, but we'll probably see the B cars racing at Kansas Speedway this coming week.
Oh man, and what a show they put on. Kansas, another one of those tracks. You can run the bottom, you can run 2 lanes in the middle, you can run the top. Lots of strategy, lots of good racing involved. I mean, we've seen 4 or 5 wide on the front straightaway in the corners. It's like a mini auto club. You can use that whole track, get a run anywhere. A lot of fun to watch. So be sure to tune into that one next week. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And you'll catch it all here live on GridVision as the field works their way around the track. It's going to be 10-lap shootout, possibly, by the looks of it, when we take the green flag.
Yeah, when we take the green, we're going to have 10 laps to go, and it's going to be a long 10 laps. It's going to be an intense 10 laps. We're either going to have cautions to finish this thing out, or we're going to get one last hoorah to the end. Got Garrett Maines leading with Roman and Alex Murray in third, Jose Solis and Terlind rounding out the top 5. Then you got Wembley, Salmaso, Abreu, Brigoli, and Pierce rounding out the top 10. And boy, that top 10 from about 6 on back has changed a lot today with all the chaos that's been going on. But let's get back to it. We'll have 10 laps to go when we take the green, and hopefully we can finish this thing out to the end and send it off in a good way.
Absolutely. Here as the field works their way through, it's going to be the following drivers: Garrett Maines, Nicholas Vroman, Alex Murray, Jose Salas Jr., Charles Wembley, Cody Terlande, Lucas Abreu, Luis Salamosa, Roger Pierce, and Paul Brigoli, your top 10.
Man, here they come. This is where it's make or break. This is where, oh man. Coming to the Geico restart zone. Maines, when will he launch this time? Went late in the zone last time. He's going to go late again. Green flag is back out. 10 laps to go. What a start for Garrett Maines. Side by side is Roman and Alex Murray. They're 3 wide on the front straightaway behind them, but never mind. Alex Murray and Vroman. Alex is going to get clear of Vroman, and here comes Alex Murray for the first time tonight in P2, trying to get up to P1 and challenge Garrett Maines for the race win.
He wants to have a shot at it, and he's going to have time to try to chase down Garrett Maines. Meanwhile, Vroman drops back to P3 as here comes Terlande to the inside of Jose Salas Jr. for 4th.
Oh man, what a battle we got going on for fourth. Terlind and Jose side by side up the corner. They get tight. Contact coming up off of 2. Not in the wall. No caution, no car around. Never mind. Still side by side through the middle of 3 and 4. Off of 4 now. That high side's going to get the run, but will the 54 of Terlind pinch him? Not quite clear yet. Oh, wrecking down the front straightaway. Big one again. Brigoli involved. Oh my lord. Another big one.
Well, the question is going to be, can we get through this race without a green-white checkered?
Oh, no. Man, what a wreck. That was, oh, man, Alex and Garrett were really going to be fighting for it. Alex was right on the back bumper, and I know Garrett was going to do everything that he could to get him off of him. Oh, my goodness. What a wreck. Those are 2 more guys that were big names in this race who are having runs of a lifetime. Just one mistake can change everything. Terlind and Jose side by side. I don't even know what happens. I don't know, because I don't think the 22 gets into the wall. I don't know if Terlind getting into him got the car upset on the straightaway, which I don't understand how it would get it that bent out of shape on the straightaway, but maybe we can go on board, if you don't mind, Austin, with the 22 here and kind of listen to the throttle input or something. Okay. No, I see what happened. So yeah, he got hit from the inside, and for some reason, I don't know if it's the way that iRacing thought that he was getting hit, but it looked like the game thought he was being hooked to the right, because the wheel went to the right, and normally when someone hits you on the left side, the wheel's not going to jerk that hard to the right, so it might have gotten the car loose or something, but just enough contact right there on the front straightaway. What a weird wreck. And then, of course, driver side into turn 1. My goodness. Again, thank God this is a sim and not real life, because that would have been potentially catastrophic, but the 54 on pit road now, but 195 of 200. Garrett Maines, Alex Murray, Vroman, Wembley, and Salmaso rounding out the top 5. Pierce, Abreu, Holzer, Hazard, and Lim round out the top 10. All right, Taylor, the pick, your pick is still, I'm assuming, one of the top 2, but now that Alex Murray is in the picture, I don't know. I know Alex can put on a good fight with Garrett, but Garrett's just been the fastest car all night, and then, of course, you got Vroman right behind Garrett as well, those 2 being teammates. You know that if the 1 and 3rd can't win, the 1 and 3rd at least is going to help the 1 and 1st some way or another. Every team will do that. You'll see that all over the place. Or we could see some chaos happen like we thought. Maybe Wembley or Luis Almaso wins, or maybe even Roger Pierce from 6, but lights on the pace car still on. We're going to go 1 more, and by the time we go back green, we'll have about 3 laps to go here at Dover International.
So a natural green-white checkered is what we're looking at to see here to wrap up tonight's racing action, hopefully here at Dover. As Vroman's going to go up in between Alex Murray and play around and see how it all plays out for these drivers. How about that? 3 whites restart would be chaotic, I'd have to say.
Oh, man, with the green-white checker, you might as well stack them up with 4. We're going to see just as much as we would if you were to send them single file. I mean, at this point, everyone's trying to go for the win. There is no backing down. There is no lifting. There is no giving the room. I mean, I know a few of these guys would give a lot of room, but for the race win, you just can't. I keep telling these guys all the time, who cares who it is? Who cares? Just put your bumper to them. You got to win the race. I mean, obviously, you don't want to do what I did at Talladega and completely dump Levine, but, you know, if you have the chance to give him a bump going into the turn, you have to. You have to. You got to do anything you can to win. Treat this as if it's a real race. You're being broadcasted on the YouTube. You got sponsors on these cars. You got setup shops on these cars too, and you just got to win. You got to treat it like it's like your life depends on it.
Lights are out on the pace car. Maines and Murray will lead us to the green flag and see who will come out on top and survive. We want to hear from you guys in the chats. Who are you pulling for? Alex Murray, Garrett Maines, Nicholas Vroman, or someone else?
They slowly make the crawl down the back straightaway. Lights on the pace car are off. Alex trying to warm up the tires. See a few guys in the back of the pack trying to warm up tires too. Nothing out of Roman and Maines though makes you think maybe they know something. Maybe scrubbing tires isn't the move here on the restart. We're about to find out.
Here they come into the restart zone for possibly the final time. Murray and Maines ready to go. Green flag is out, and we're racing here as they will get a green-white checkered attempt. Heading down into turn number 1. Murray on the outside. Vroman sends it into the inside lane as a couple of drivers lose it out of turn number 2, but gather it back up.
Big push from Vroman to his teammate on the restart. Alex Murray trying everything he can to get back up to Garrett Maines. 3 laps to go, coming to 2 laps to go now. Alex Murray makes up a lot of time coming up off of 4. Can he get there and challenge Garrett Maines for the win? 2 laps to go from Dover.
Here they come through the middle of turns 1 and 2 right now. Maines and Murray still holding on to the race lead. Out of turn number 2, everyone's just trying to make it through and log some laps to get to the white flag. That's when we'll see the chaos really pick up here through the middle of turn 3 and 4. Out of turn number 4, white flag in the air for Garrett Maines as he rushes off into turn 1.
White flag, 1 lap to go. They go down into turn 1. Alex Murray takes the high side. He's going to get the run off of 2 down the back straightaway, but will it be enough? Will he send it in on Garrett Maines? Is he close enough? Through 3 and 4, through the final time, Alex Murray's not going to be able to get it done. Garrett Maines comes off of turn 4 and wins Friday night top split NIS at Dover International Speedway.
What a race indeed for Garrett Maines to take home the checkered flag and to propel himself up further in the NIS championship.
What a race. I know Alex is going to want that one back. He just groaned over the radio but said, good race. You know he has the speed. You know he can do it. But Garrett Maines, he's just a different man. He's just a different machine. What a race from this one car, the 12th car in Sim. We're going to see Garrett Maines burn it down on the front straightaway.
And with that, this is a Ryco performance winning moment for Garrett Maines here to pick up a win number 9 in the NIS season. As he will burn it down in celebration, and he's going to try to go all the way down the back front straightaway here with a burnout. With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll give you your full field rundown and interviews with your winners here tonight. You're watching the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split here on GridVision. Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split from Dover. It's Garrett Maines and Alex Murray, your top 2, followed by Nicholas Vroman, Charles Wimbley, James Holter, Roger Pierce, Luis Salamosa, Thomas Hazard, Nicholas Patovich, and Maggie McGuire, your top 10.
Good run for Maggie McGuire. And then 11th, you got Matt Hollabaugh, Joshua Watson, Matt DeCiani, Tommy Gossett, and Jacob Klein rounding out your top 15. You got Junsu Lim, Derek Heitman, Johnny Baldridge, J.R. Bormarema, and Lucas Abreu rounding out your top 20.
21st is John Whitendorf, followed by Sean Conklin in 22nd, Alan Pajara 23rd, Adam Benefield 24, Cody Terlande 25th with Jose Silas Jr. 26, Paul Bergoli 27th, 28th is Sean Peleg, James Houghton is 29th, Nolan Hodgson is 30th with Dalton Collins, Gabriel Mauricio, Austin Fitzgerald, John Williams, Brennan McGee, and Patrick Gitter, your 36 car field. And with that, we'll get a chance to talk to our finishers here, and starting off with Nicholas Vroman, who joins us up in the booth. Nicholas, a good run for you, coming home in 3rd place, but it feels like you could have had something more if you had a few extra laps.
I don't think so at the end. I think I should have took maybe 4 tires in the last. That's what Alex did, and he was cooking. I mean, he was moving. He had a good shot to win it if that went green when he was on 4 and we were on 2. I feel like I had something, but just clean air. I was battling Garrett all race long, and I could just never clear him low, and just, clean air is just so freaking important here.
Well, I mean, we look ahead to Kansas next week. How confident do you feel going to the Midwest?
I like that track. It's usually a fight to the top, but you also got to play, save a little bit on the bottom. Want to kill your tires right away. So it's a good racing track. You can do different things to determine how you're gonna use your tires up. You're gonna run low longer and then go to the top. So it should be fun.
Well, before we let you go, Nick, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to or a thank you to?
Yeah, shout out to our team leader, Jacob Schneider, man. He's currently at the gym working out. I told him his arms were little compared to Johan, so he's working out. He's a little self-conscious about it, so he's there working out hard right now, trying to catch up to Johan. Shout out to you guys up in the booth, and shout out to everybody in Ryco, man.
That is Nicholas Vroman coming home in P3 here tonight. We look forward to seeing him on Monday night. But joining us next is Alex Murray, and he is with Brandon Edstrom.
The man who owns 2% more of Phantom than me, Alex Murray. My best friend, Alex. What's going on, bud? I mean, what a great car. You took 4 at the end there. What else do you feel like you needed to do to pass Garrett on those last few laps and bring home your first top split NIS win of the year?
Nothing I could have done really. The rest of the field, that's the problem. They just lose their head with 10 to go, and then that's what happens. Get short runs, and leader controls the pace and pulls away.
I was going to say the first half of the race, it seemed very clean, not a lot of cautions, and then all of a sudden towards the end of the race, the chaos theory came true and things just started falling apart. I mean, as a race car driver, how frustrating can that be knowing that you have a chance to get up there, but it's just everybody else around you, the guys in the back that are wrecking, that just kind of prevent, a lot of these good runs happening to, to showcase the real racing that we all came here to see?
Yeah, I mean, they know it's broadcasted, so they they try to get up front and get TV time, and that's what happens.
Well, brother, Kansas next week. It's a track that you're extremely good at. I'm extremely good at. We're all really good at. So how are you feel going into Kansas next week? You think you're going to be, going to be able to get anything done?
Yeah, I think the Team Conti guys are going to put a good setup together, and hopefully we can contend for wins like we did this week. So looking forward to it, and looking forward to being here on Friday next week.
Hell yeah, buddy. Well, I'll be racing with you next Friday, and I'll probably talk to you shortly after this. So good run, bud. Talk to you in a little bit. Thanks for joining us.
Sounds good. Thanks, Brian.
All right, sending it back down to you, Taylor, for tonight's race winner, Garrett Maines. Not a shocker in that one, bud.
Not a shocker indeed, but Garrett Maines definitely had to put up a fight with several drivers here tonight. Garrett, walk us through your race win here.
Oh, man. There were so many battles from the second half of that race on. I mean, James was throwing haymakers from basically the drop of the green on that, I think it was the green flag when we went on 110. And it was, I knew the entire time, I can't just like try to match him, because if I do, Roman's just going to drive right by me in about 15 laps. And so I was doing everything I could to save. And I mean, it was going to be a difficult situation, but I think I was in a good spot tire-wise if that went green. But like, I did not want to give up the lead, because if the caution comes out, I'm kind of in a bad spot. And sure enough, we get 125 laps into the run. So it kind of felt like a revolving door of one driver after another just going full out to see if they could get by me. And I'm just watching as the, third and fourth place drivers are just as fast, waiting in the, waiting in the wind, just, waiting to pounce. So I don't know. I think that was probably one of the hardest races I've had to work for in a while. It was very rewarding, though. I enjoyed it. I was enjoying every minute of throwing down with those guys. So I don't know. I'm happy to have been able to pull it off.
Well, we look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Kansas. But before we let you go, Garrett, anyone you'd like to say thank you to?
Yeah, absolutely. Huge shout out to all the guys at at Ryco for all the hard work they put in this week. Probably one of the best cars I've ever had here. And, you know, after getting robbed on Monday night, it was nice to get the results today. So definitely excited about that. And huge shout out to MCU Body, Lennox, the guys at FGR Excel, and Left Court Brothers for all their support.
That is Garrett Maines, your winner here at the Monster Mile. And with that, for myself and Brandon Edstrom and our amazing producer, Austin Derbyshire, we will thankfully get away from the hunger of Miles the Monster, because he got his fill from several different cars. But thankfully for drivers such as Garrett Maines, Alex Murray, and Nicholas Vroman, they were able to stay away from the hunger of Miles the Monster. But for that, we say goodnight, and we will see you tomorrow night at Talladega.